Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Thursday. Here's the Year 5 Maths video introduction for today. So yesterday we were looking at parallel lines. Hopefully you can all remember how parallel lines can go in any direction as long as they never cross, they never meet, like a train track. They can go in all of those different directions. Today we're going to be looking at something called perpendicular lines. Now perpendicular lines are different to parallel lines. It still involves two lines. But this time they have to join, but they have to join in a certain way. So if my arm here was one line, and here's another line, and they join together, the angle in which they join and they meet has to be a right angle. How many degrees are there in a right angle? Got 90 degrees. So perpendicular lines are lines which meet at a right angle. Can you see behind me just here? I've got a picture hanging on the wall, and you can just see the very edges of the picture frame. If I use my arrow, here we go, look. Now this horizontal part of the frame is meeting the vertical part of the frame in a right angle in 90 degrees. Therefore, these are perpendicular lines. Okay, I'm going to share my screen, so I'm going to disappear very, very small. Here I go, I'm over here now. All right, so here is the PowerPoint for today. Now, the title is Recognising and Drawing Perpendicular Lines for today. And you can see we've got two workmen on our picture that have been looking at a road and some street lamps. Now, they're trying to put the street lamps up in a perpendicular way. Now, Sophia has said they need to be vertical. Now, remember, a vertical line is going straight up and down. Now, Toshi has said, well, I've made them perpendicular. So who is right? Are they all perpendicular? And do they have to be vertical, going straight up and down in order to be that way? I don't think they do. We've just said that if they are perpendicular lines, they have to meet another line or thing at a right angle. So I'm going to actually use in here, I'm going to get a square, because I know that some of you might be thinking, well, if these lines have got to meet at a 90-degree angle, I haven't got a protractor. What am I going to do to help me discover where perpendicular lines are? Now, you can use all sorts of different things. If you use a piece of paper, you think two edges of a piece of paper, that's always meeting at a 90-degree angle. So therefore, this line and this line are perpendicular. This line and this line are perpendicular to each other. This line and this line and this line and this line. So you can use those against things to decide if they are perpendicular. So if I use a little square here, I'm just going to draw a little square on my screen. Now I can move that almost like the corner. Now if I put it, you can see up here, look, this is the road and here are the street lamps. And we've got to decide if they're perpendicular to each other. So in this case, that street lamp is, because you can see we've used our right angle corner here to help us. So these ones are definitely all perpendicular to the road. What about this one here now? I don't think it's meeting the road in a perpendicular angle, because look, if that's the edge of the street lamp, the road needs to be coming across this way. The street lamps on Sophia's side, even though they're vertical and going up and down, they're not perpendicular lines. Now on Toshi's side, he's put them over here. Now you can see that his street lamps are no longer completely vertical in the same direction as him. So I've got to turn my square around a little bit so I get my edges right. Oh, and hold on a minute. Look, if we can see, my square has made there is a 90-degree angle between the road and the street light there. Therefore, they have made and met at a perpendicular angle. Let's have a look at this. This shows it a bit better. You see this diagram at the bottom? It's showing the street lamps, and they've drawn a little, remember, if we're showing a right angle, we can put a little square in the corner. They're meeting the road at 90-degree angles, all along the top and all along this side. Part A here is just showing some different perpendicular lines meeting at right angles, so you can get the idea. All right, now on this one, we've got to find some lines that are perpendicular to the line AB. Now you can see AB is the red line here. Now it's got to be at a right angle. Now again, you could at home use a piece of paper, or you could use the corner of your Power Maths books, couldn't you? Because they've got a right angle, and you could put them in and decide, oh, which other lines are there? It's a bit difficult for me to show you on my PowerPoint, so I'm going to again insert a little square. Let me just draw one just here. I'm just going to make a little tiny one like that. Now, if line AB, what I've got to do first of all is I've got to line up my square onto that line so that I can decide. So if I put it here, now AB goes along there. BC is definitely not perpendicular to it. Can you see? Because it doesn't follow the direction of the right angle. But if I go the other side, I need to turn it around a little bit. It's a bit difficult to get it exact on here. Oh, look. So there, the bottom part of my square has gone along line AB, and then it goes against the line AF. Therefore, the line that's perpendicular to line AB is AF. All right, you have a little try now. So this one's saying, point to the lines that are perpendicular to the line HI. So on this one, here's the line. I'm going to highlight it for you. Let me go here and get my pens. So we're now looking at this line here on this shape, line HI. Now, which lines are perpendicular to the line HI? Oh, now let's listen to that question carefully. It says, point to the lines. So that must mean there must be more than one. Now they do have to join to the line HI. There are some others that we could extend and probably make them perpendicular, but they have to join to them. If I bring down my little box just here, look, and I'm going to twist it round so that it's sitting on line HI like that. Now, if I go over here, oh look, line GH, that's perpendicular because it's meeting at a right angle. What about the other side? Yes. So that one's got two. Line IJ is also perpendicular to line H and I. Now it says here, perpendicular lines do not always have to touch or cross. If that's the case, I thought they did have to cross, to be perfectly honest, but sometimes some questions might say what any of the lines are, which ones of those are perpendicular to HI, which is what this one's saying. So can you see another line that might be perpendicular? If I was to bring my square over, look at line KL. That's definitely at 90 degrees to the line, isn't it? Because it's meeting it. If I carried on drawing, it would meet at a right angle. So sometimes we just have to look out for what the question is asking of us. Now, this is your work for today in your Power Maths books. Look carefully at the email to see which pages that you are on. Now, again, remember that if you don't have these Power Maths books at home, then you can use the sheets that I have sent to you to your email address. So today's work is on page 81. Looks like this in your books, which is just like the sheets that I've sent you home because I've used the same ones. And I want you to have a go all the way through, all the way to having a look at the reflect right at the end. Okay, and let me know how you get on. Send me some pictures. And it would be lovely to have some emails from you to see how you found the work over the last couple of days. Okay, and I shall see you again on Friday. Bye-bye.